Hello everyone, and welcome to Authentic Now Yoga, the online yoga studio for anybody and everybody. My name is Jody Pignole, and today we're going to do a full class in the Yin style. Because sometimes throughout the year or throughout your life, you might notice a pull to bring your attention, your energy more inward. So as opposed to being more outward and active and out there in the world, you might want to be more reflective, more receptive, more quiet. So yoga, and in particular yin yoga, is a beautiful practice to help get you in that way of being. And in this practice today, we're going to ready our bodies for meditation while being more meditative and mindful throughout our practice. So first of all, I want to encourage you to have some props nearby so that you can play with and see what's going to work because we're going to hold the postures longer and be more quiet within while we see what's happening. So if you have something like this, a bolster, a cushion, a pillow, if you have something like this, a block or a big sturdy box or maybe a soup can, and then if you have a strap or a belt or even a bunch of old socks tied together, you'll want to have those handy for our practice. But first, we're going to just bring ourselves into this present moment, into our bodies, into connection and awareness of what it's like to be us in this moment now. Setting the tone for our practice. Practicing mindfulness. So find that easy seated pose. If you need to make modifications, if you need to sit on something, there's a whole bunch of ways that you can be in this posture. And the important thing is that you have a posture that you can relax in, that your bottom half isn't tense, holding you up. Yeah, holding a lot of tension. And then your spine can lift out of that place. Nice and free, open channel for everything that goes through there to move. And then once we have that, then we just bring our attention more inward. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable, softly. And from here, you can focus on your body breathing itself, just following the inhalations and the exhalations. I'll be quiet for a little while longer and just stay connected. Notice what it feels like to be you. Breathing. And with the next few breath cycles, just allow that breath to expand beyond your chest cavity. Reach all the way to the edges of your physical body. And whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes. Nice. I just wanted to bring two things to awareness that we were working with in our meditation: the softening and relaxing, releasing of the body, and also the focus on the breath. Both of those will call on throughout the practice, because as we're holding a posture for a lot longer and maybe we get into a little discomfort, the tendency might be to tense up. So we want to just remind ourselves what it feels like to soften and relax. And then also we might start to hold our breath a little or shallow, make our breath more shallow. And so just simply allowing that breath to move through as fully as it can will be two little great tools to have throughout your practice. And that kind of awareness will also just keep you from overdoing it in any posture. So having that, tracking what it's like to be in your body in that moment will keep you from pushing it too hard or being really, really uncomfortable. All right, let's do a little bit of warming up. So we're just in our easy seated pose. You can shift anything you need to shift. We'll just do a little bit of opening up the sides, the front, the back. So let's just first plug in the sit bones, grow that spine nice and tall, reaching up with the crown of the head. Yeah. And then just walk your hands forward. Any amount, whatever you can do, kind of rolling over those sit bones, but keeping them still connected to the blanket or the mat. And instead of curling way over just to get to the floor, just try and extend your spine as you come forward. Yeah, reach that sternum away from the pubic bone. And then if you like, when you get to the end here, you can start to round a little bit. And you can wiggle. And then let's walk our hands over to one side. It doesn't matter, just pick a side. And reach that side body long. Move that hip away from the shoulder, away from the fingertips. Beautiful. All right, let's walk our hands back and over to the other side. Feel that side body open. Feel it lengthen. Not trying to strain, just encouraging openness. Yes, nice. Back to center. Walk your hands back up. And then whatever configuration your legs were in, see if you can create the opposite. It's going to be slightly different, but we come as close as we can just to work on balancing left and right. Awesome. All right, plug in the sit bones again. Grow that spine. Yes. Walk your hands forward. Keeping the spine extended. Coming down to rest if you choose. Where do you feel it? Nice. And then let's walk our hands over to one side. Reach and grow. Soften and breathe. Yeah, let's walk our hands over to the other side. Yes, walk your hands back to center. Bring yourself back up to a seated position. You're going to take the hands behind, about shoulder width apart, and we're just going to extend that spine up towards the ceiling while we open the front. Bring the shoulders down, widen the collarbones. Breathe, soften the belly. Nice. Back to center. And then just give a little wiggle in the whole upper body. Arms, fingers, shoulders, neck, jaw. Yeah, whatever will wiggle. let's come into a child's pose. Great little hip opener. So again, find the modifications. There are a lot of videos on how to find positions that work for you in your body. We're just going to take a few breaths here in whatever version of child's pose you have. Softening, opening. It's a nice time to set an intention for your practice if that's something that you do. Let's take a few more conscious breaths. Is there any place you can soften or open? All right, let's walk ourselves up a little bit. We're going to widen the knees, come back down. Any amount, it doesn't have to look like this. Just getting those hips open in all different kinds of ways. All right, let's walk ourselves up. Bring the knees back together. We're going to curl the toes under. So a couple possibilities here are maybe you can sit back on your heels, maybe sort of head in that direction. Or maybe you want to balance on the ball of your foot. Feet, balls of your feet. Just find whatever one's going to work for you. We'll work with the feet a little bit here as well, since we really need those for to be comfortable in our meditation poses. Nice. All right, let's come to seated, legs out front. We're going to just take one ankle over the knee, and then we'll lift and lower that knee. Loosening up the hip. Nice, and you can make little circles if you like. Switch directions. Yeah, what's happening in there? And then just give your feet a little attention. Start to work them, all the little spaces between all of those joints and bones. Flex and extend. Circles. Nice. All right, let's switch sides. Let's take that opposite ankle over the knee, lift and lower. Beautiful. And then let's make little circles. I don't know what my brain was doing there. And reverse. And then work your foot. Let's give it a little massage. Loosen up some spaces. And then you can rotate the ankle, switch directions. Yeah, it feels nice to just give our feet some attention. All right, let's bring them back in. We're going to come into a squat pose. Just like the child's pose, just like easy seated pose, find a variation that's going to work for you and your body, because we're going to stay here for a little bit. So a few possibilities. Put a blanket behind your knees, put something under your heels. Ideally, you're going to want to have the heels land on something so that you can not feel like you're struggling with balance. Another possibility is just sit on a block or sit on a stool, something low where you can just work on opening up the hips. Yeah. So we're going to stay here for a couple minutes. It's nice to be still in whatever posture you choose, but if you need to move yourself out of it for discomfort and find something that works a little bit better, that's totally fine. Yeah, just getting it dialed in. If you think, oh, heck no, this isn't going to work, it's a great time to change. Find something that will. But otherwise, just focus on that release. Find the places where you can soften. Allow your breath to soften. There's nothing you need to really think. So you can just keep your awareness with your body, with your breath. Nice. Let's take another 30 seconds. And take 3 really full breaths. Send that breath to any place that might be complaining. Just allow that breath to really fill your being. Nice. And then release, come out of your position. Let's come into a nice, easy forward fold. So you can just take a few breath cycles, working your way in, keeping the knees bent if that's best. Can come up halfway and lengthen. Nice. And just walk your hands up your legs. Come into a standing position. We'll just clasp the hands back behind the sacrum and open the front body again. Really root those legs down into the mat. Grow the spine. Lift the breastbone, the sternum up towards the ceiling. Yeah. Few more rounds of breath. Allow the posture to unfold. Nice. Bring it all the way back up. We're just going to slide back down into a forward fold. Do whatever you need to do. If you need to have some blocks handy for your hands, we'll just stay in a standing forward fold for a few moments. Find that posture that's going to work for you. take a few full breath cycles here. Sending the breath wherever it might need to go. Yes, nice. All right, just release. We're going to come back down to the mat. So I'm going to find a deer pose, which is one shin forward, the other shin back. Find yourself balanced on both sit bones. If you need to tuck a blanket under the lower one so you can balance them out, go ahead and do that. Just find a nice tall spine. First, we're facing forward right over that shin and just come forward. Doesn't need to be far, doesn't need to be extreme. Just play with that edge. And then bring yourself up. I'm actually going to shift because if I come forward, I'll run into the furniture. So then I'm going to face over that thigh and walk myself forward here. Again, we're not focused on distance. We're more focused on what works for your body. So putting a bolster here on your leg as something to rest on is a nice idea. A blanket. Or just walk yourself forward. Maybe resting your head on a block. It's a nice idea. Yeah, just find that thing you're going to be able to sustain. Sometimes the places of where you think you might be holding tension are actually not the places. It's not the obvious places, but some random, seemingly unrelated place where you might be holding tension. So it's nice to scan all around the body. All right, 3 full breath cycles. Nice, and then whenever you're ready, you can walk yourself back up. We're just going to shift over onto that hip, onto the elbow, and reach around and grab that opposite foot. We won't stay here for minutes, but we'll just allow that to open up a little bit. Feel that quadriceps release, the hip flexors release. The breath is releasing. The elbows right under my shoulder, giving me nice support. Yes, no pain. A little discomfort's okay. Just work with it. Nice, 1 full breath cycle. And let's release. We'll come up and over. Bring the opposite shin forward. Opposite shin back. Find those balanced sit bones. Nice tall spine. Just come forward over the shin. Bring yourself back up. Let's face over that thigh. Again, lengthen, get space in this whole system so that you have more room for movement. Put a bolster on the thigh if you need, or what other sort of modification that's going to help you hang out in this position for a little while. It's likely to feel different on this side than the other side. That's okay. Sometimes muscles like to twitch and resist. You can back out a little, just get it to soften. Nice. A few full breath cycles before we come out. Beautiful. Let's walk ourselves back up. Just come to resting on that elbow on the side. Reach around, grab that foot. Yeah. Just feel that all slowly soften and open. So we're not trying to force it, we're just giving it the opportunity, giving it the time. One full breath cycle here. And then release. Let's come back up to seated. Just pick one shin, bring it forward, parallel with the edge of the mat. And then we're going to just take the other shin and see if we can stack it on top of that. So bringing that foot to the knee to the foot. If that is definitely not going to work, you can just bring it out front. Yeah. Otherwise, just sit here nice and tall, rooted into those sit bones, opening the spine, softening the breath. You can come forward if that speaks to you. Let's take 3 more breath cycles. Nice, and then bring yourselves up. We'll take those legs into the opposite shape. So the opposite shin is down on the mat, along the parallel with the edge of the mat. Then we'll take the opposite. Just stack that on top. Yes. Be nice to your body. Either just sit here nice and tall or come into a forward fold. Any amount. Staying aware and connected to what's going on in our bodies means that our minds don't have the space to think a lot of unhelpful thoughts. And take 3 nice full breath cycles, sending it anywhere you think would be helpful. And bring yourself up if you were folded. Nice. All right, let's just come down to our elbows. Bring your feet mat width apart and then just windshield wiper those knees back and forth. Loosen up anything that might have tightened up in resistance. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to recline our Thunderbolt pose. And I'm going to give you a couple possibilities here. So if it works for you to sit between your heels, wonderful. If you need to sit on a block, a blanket, a bolster, anything else instead, go ahead and do that. There's a whole video on what your modifications are. You might need to keep one leg out. And another possibility is you just keep both legs out. And what we're going to do is we're going to recline on this bolster, which is going to give this part of our body space to open up. So if you're able to sit between your heels, get those calf muscles out of the way. Bring that bolster or pillow, whatever it is, up against your lower back, and then just lay back down. If you need an extra layer for your head, if you need an extra layer underneath, a block so that you're not laying back as far, just take your time. Find what's going to work for you and your body. It does no good to get yourself into a position that you can't sustain. Though sometimes you get to try. If it feels good, the arms could also reach up overhead. See what you can hold for another 30 seconds or so. A few more full breath cycles. And then mindfully, slowly, gently bring yourself out. Being mindful of the neck if you are all the way reclined. Nice. All right, so you might need to have these little props handy. We're going to come onto our bellies. I'll show you a couple possibilities here. So bringing your shins up against furniture or the couch, or a wall. Just toes headed towards the ceiling. This is one possibility. If you feel that that's opening things up for you. Another possibility is coming onto your elbows. And another possibility is laying on the bolster, getting that rib cage up. Perhaps your arms are strong and you can just stay in a cobra position, keeping the pelvis down. Any and all possibilities. Keeping the knees hip width apart if you can. Letting that spine extend wherever it is you are. Just do another 30 seconds. Where else can you soften? Yes, 3 full breaths. Make them work for you. Nice. All right, bring yourselves out kindly, gently. Just gonna find a little child's pose here. And then let's come onto our backs. Grab my strap and have that handy. All right, let's just hug the knees in for a half a minute or so. Just feel that whole back body be supported by the floor. Nice. All right, let's release the knees, bring the feet to the mat. We're going to take one ankle on top of the opposite knee. And keep that foot alive. It sort of helps that contact between the ankle and the knee, above the knee really. And then we're going to reach through, make a clasp behind the thigh. Or if it's easy, you can clasp on the shin, if that's going to work for you, because we're going to stay here for a little bit. And just move that all towards your chest. Find that position that feels like it's going to coax a little opening. And then just breathe. A couple full breaths here. And then release. And just switch sides. So take the opposite ankle over the opposite knee. Reach through behind the thigh or in front of that shin. What do you notice? Things don't have to be rigid when you're in your position. There's room for a little movement. Static, hard holding is not what we're looking for. Let's take a few full breath cycles here. Beautiful. Gently release. Let's take the heels of your hands into the tops of your femurs and push away and wiggle. Nice. Release that. Okay, we're going to do one last little thing, and I'm going to show you two possibilities. So grab a strap. If you have a nice long strap, you might be able to do this first one. If not, it's going to be a little bit challenging because I take the strap all the way to the end of its length. I put that around the balls of my feet and then balance that on the back of my head. I'm going to bring that a little further down onto my feet. It's really nice and relaxing for the neck muscles. And then just gives these legs an opportunity to be up towards the ceiling in a vertical position. So that's one possibility that you might want to take. Another possibility is taking that strap underneath the chest. And then bringing those legs in there. Bringing the feet in there, I mean. works the hamstrings a little bit. You can tighten that loop to get your legs a little bit further, closer to your head. Nice, and just release and breathe wherever you are. Yeah, where do things want to let go? So you are welcome to stay in this position as long as you like, or maybe you want to come out, bring yourself into a full corpse pose or some variation. We'll just spend a little more time here, completely letting it all go. Just checking in with your body now. How does it feel? Can you soften some more? Melting into the floor. Just take 3 nice full breath cycles. Imagine that breath is filling your whole being, all the way to the bottoms of your feet, top of your head. And you can bring that body back to life gently. Rolling over to your side and finding your seated pose in your own timing. Keeping your eyes closed in your seated pose if that works for you. Just keeping that attention inward for a little while longer. Yeah. Just allowing that to integrate even further into your vertical body. Is there anything you want to celebrate or take with you into your day? Just notice that. And then one nice full breath again, filling that whole being. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Namaste. Oh, thank you for coming in with me. It felt really wonderful. I hope it did for you too. I hope that you're ready for whatever life is ready to serve up. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, I would love to have you be a part of our community. Otherwise, have a wonderful day.